Coming up next, she is mom, friend, wife, founder. Oh, yeah. And the chair for the now. What's happening? Wendy L. Cunningham Barnes. We have to say the whole name. You know how it goes.
The whole name. Girl, I'm excited. This is awesome.
Is it fun? Are you having fun?
I'll let you know in about 20 minutes.
In about 20.
Oh, it's always a good time with you. It's always a good time talking to you.
You know, I got to ask you because your day is absolutely full. I mean, top to bottom, you have a ton going on, especially, with the prince at home, taking care of him. But I asked you to come to the now and you came. Then I asked you if I could honor you and you said yes. And then I asked you to be the chair of the now and you said, okay. You did just say okay. Maybe that was meant as a nice thing and you didn't really mean it. But you're right now. I took you up on it. What made you take us under your wing?
You know, I have always, as a young child and a teenager, I always played small, and I always kind of looked at people who were doing big things and was just like, man, I wish I could be like that. And a few years ago, I just told the Lord, if I hear an opportunity, and I know it's a real opportunity that comes up, I'm gonna say yes before the shy Wendy says no. So when you asked, I inside was like, just say no. I said yes, because it's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to be in the midst of some amazing, incredible, powerful women. Why would you say no to this? You have to say yes for opportunities, and you figure it out along the way.
What made you say okay to being the chair?
Again, anyone, y'all need to come to the Power of Pink. If you're in that space, you want to be in that space in any capacity. And you said a chair, and I'm like, okay, again, a little Wendy from the inner city, Chicago is like, but so-and-so is here and so-and-so is here. But you asked me, and I said, well, she sees something, and I know that I have a big God, and he's gonna hold my hand through the whole process. And it's been great. The members have been amazing, welcoming. You have been wonderful whenever I call, how many times I call. It's a growth period for me, and I'm enjoying it.
I want to tell you, you're doing an amazing job. Keeping me on track is a full-time job in itself. So you're doing an absolutely amazing job.
Thank
The
you.
direction that we're going in for the now it's just going to grow and grow. We're planning on always keeping the now under 250 people because we want to keep it more feeling like a family reunion.
Yeah.
And you really can't do that, from an arena event. But on the other side, Trailblazers is going to be an arena event. It's starting out small this year, but in the next 5 years, it'll be in an arena, guaranteed. I want 10,000 people screaming and losing their minds.
Yeah.
And I still want you to be the chair. So it's going to be so
I'm not nervous
fun.
at all.
Now, on top of all that, you have your own foundation, the You Belong Foundation.
Yeah.
What is it? Why did you start it? And where are you going with that?
Man, the You Belong Foundation is one of my bigger passions. I'm a mom of 3 children. 2 of my kids are special needs. My daughter, Paige, would have been 27 this year. And I always wanted to honor her legacy. I never wanted people to forget or just think I only had 2 boys. And this will be our 8th year of having the Paige Awards. And that's a whole glamour. You dress up, you get entertained. We celebrate people in the special needs community. But I also want to do something more. I want to do something more. I'm always telling James, my husband, I want to save the world by Friday, and tomorrow's Friday, so I got a lot to do. And the You Belong Foundation just gives me license to beg for money, to ask people for money so that I can help people. We paid for Thanksgiving dinners for people who took care of someone with a disability. We have movie days. We rent out the whole movie theater so you can bring your loved one, disabled or not, just to have that experience without people staring at you, asking you crazy questions. I want to make sure places are accessible. There are way too many places. If you go in any place today, tonight, tomorrow, and you just look around, imagine being in a wheelchair or imagine being on crutches and you having to open this door by yourself without help, or you have to go upstairs and there's no elevator, there's no ramp. Like, I want to make these changes, and this board that we have is coming up with some great ideas to reach out through the community first and then expand it. Like you said, we want to take this big. We want people in every state, in every country even, to pay attention to the accessibility of people who have the they don't have the ability to walk. They don't have the ability to climb, right? We have to pay attention. This is the strongest group of people in our society. They're getting up every day, overcoming some stuff that we can't imagine.
Absolutely. You know, you honored me now almost 2 years ago. I can't believe how fast time is flying.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, wait, you want to honor me, really? And you honored me at the Paige Awards for dyslexia. And what you may not know is I met a young man named William Blake last year at Eric Swanson's events, I believe. And he is a coach for business and entrepreneurs that are dyslexic.
Nice.
He has a whole dyslexic program. So I definitely want to introduce you.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But because of you, we decided that I was like, wait, there needs to be something. So I talked to him, and now we're doing this on January 11th at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 noon. Dr. Sherry, William Blake, and myself, we're going to do a short webinar to start, but showing people how to own their dyslexia and taking it to being an advantage. And that came from you. You know, knowing the You Belong Foundation and understanding the different levels of people and nobody really paying attention. Like you said, just opening a door can change a world. Renting out that theater can change the world. You know, you're changing and blazing trails that other people didn't even know needed to be blazed. And I want to thank you so much for that. Can you tell us about why you rent out the whole theater? What's that story?
Several years ago, the thing that me and the boys, it's Christian, who is special needs, and then Matthew, who is my healthy child. We would go to the movies. That was the thing I knew I could manage with Christian. They had the area where I could put his wheelchair. And very soon into the movie, I found myself being stared at by one of the staff at the movie theater. And once he finally got around to just asking to talk to me for a minute, he said, you know, someone is complaining about your son. And so I'm inner city Chicago, and I'm a mama. So I'm the mama bear, and she just wants to rip this young man apart. But I'm seeing how nervous he is, and I need to create an example for Matthew. Matthew just can't hit people in the face when they don't say something to your liking. And so I told the guy, I said, well, this is the deal. I want to just present a couple choices to you, and you can tell me which one you prefer, and I'll go with it. I won't cause a scene. I said, so we can leave. But as you can see, my son does not have a cold. He will be the same when he comes back. He also stood there long enough staring at us to see that he wasn't being disruptive. So if you insisted we leave, not a problem. I'll just need your information, the manager. I need someone in corporate legal. You know, I have to compile a bunch of things for my attorney, of which I didn't have one, but I was very capable. I was ready to go get one. Or if that person complains again, how about you give them tickets? Because I need to teach them. I don't want someone else to come in my space and I have the voice and just leave like someone else did shortly after that happened to us. So we rent the whole movie. Let me know if somebody complains, because this is the theater we're renting out and you're safe. You're in a place where no one's you might miss part of the movie because someone is being loud. But the family joy of just going, you don't know how much it takes for someone with a disability to get out the house and to finally get there and to have someone complain about you. Are you kidding? Like, you're not even, I don't know if it's a man or woman, but you're not even compassionate enough to just say something. You see where we're sitting, but so it's fine. We got the whole theater to ourselves.
Now let's talk about the You Belong Foundation, the Paige Awards. It's in August. I know that.
Yeah.
Can't remember the exact date, but you're about to correct me in a second. August, and what can people expect?
Man, you come in that room thinking one thing, you leave changed, because you're looking at people who have disabilities, who are smiling, who have shown up, and you can a lot of times see what they have gone through to get there. But then you have people with invisible disabilities like yourself. You know, people who, I have a friend who we're going to celebrate when she's healthy enough, but she has the handicap play card and she looks like a spiky hair, blonde rock chick. right? But if she falls, that's a problem for her. She has a
Oh,
list of disabilities, but looking at her, she looks normal, right? And so I have always looked at people like, oh, she's not limping. You know, they don't have a limb missing getting out of that handicapped parking space, but I've learned. So when you see someone with a disability or someone parking that space, number one, please don't park there, because that's just when one of us pulls up and we need that space. But number two, just think about it. I wonder what they have. If they seem approachable, approach them. Most people would love to tell you about their disability. Some people don't, but you have to have that compassion. But the Paige Awards is dinner, a good dinner, because we gonna test it. We have an award. We celebrate people who aren't used to being celebrated. Even those who, just like for me as a mom of two special needs, wheelchair children, there's no way I could have gotten them to this point without your teachers, your parents, your therapists, your one-on-ones. So we celebrate them as well. So you go to our website, the youbelongfoundation.org, and there is a nomination process that you can nominate someone you know. And I'm excited. This is year 8.
oh my goodness, year 8. See, here
Yeah.
I am, dealing with year 5, and you're talking year 8. That's
Man.
down the road. I was so happy and so pleased that you let us come in and film the event last year.
Yeah.
But also you let me MC. That was a blast. And the one thing that I noticed both years that I've been in that room is you've made a home for special needs, people to celebrate.
Yes.
They're not feeling, my good friend, as you know, passed, David, he was a quad and he passed. He supported us and supported us and supported us and everything I did over the last 10 years or so. If David could be in the corner, he was going to be there, but he always would point out when he goes to a football game or he comes to an event, he was the one that everybody looked at. Oh, what happened? What's going on? He told that story almost every day of how he got injured. And then when you come into the You Belong Foundation and you come to the Paige Awards, if you don't look like your special needs, they're looking at you like,
looking at you.
no, who are you a guest of?
Yeah.
Because this is our space.
Yeah.
And I just absolutely loved it. But then on top of that, I got a little note about a book about making sure you love yourself. What is that about?
There's a big emphasis on self-care in our society. And I found that the people I've talked to, myself included growing up, it was a long process to me to come into a position where I loved Wendy. The first step into self-care is not going to get your nails done, your hair done. That's making sure the mask looks good. But when you dive deep into that self-love, loving who you are, loving your flaws, owning your greatness, that's a whole different story. So James and I, we're writing this book that's almost done, and we are going to talk about loving yourself. Like, really, what does that mean? When you love someone, you tend to do anything for them. You wouldn't say anything bad to them. You wouldn't tell them they're not attractive, they're not smart. But there are people who look and say, I'm so stupid. Or my hair is just terrible. I just didn't look good today. You're feeding this into yourself. That's not love for yourself. So we pray that reading this book, you're going to start a deeper dive. It's so easy to just go get your nails and your hair done and make sure the outside looks good. But when you get into the deep and you start discovering the beauty that's within you, that God put in you, honey, you don't even need to get your nails done, your hair done, because you feel powerful. You feel strong in the space that God gave you. God gave you this temple, this brain, some of your flaws, because he can't let us get too big-headed, right? But love yourself and then see what happens with that.
Thank you for being our chair. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for changing the world for special needs people and especially children, and all that you do for my newly found nephews that are out there just changing the world.
I'm going to send them to you.
The absolute best. The absolute best. I can't tell you how happy I was to honor you as the philanthropist of the year and have your organization be our official organization of support for 2025.
For that.
You Belong Foundation rocks, and you're the one that makes it rock. You are the best.
It takes one to know one. Thank you for that.
I'll call you in the morning. Okay.
I will answer every time too.